Hello, Craven friends and family. We're here for another advising adventure, this time down into the career programs. And we have two great friends of ours that are going to tell us about their programs and a lot of the classes they take. Talk to us about the marketability of those classes, any certifications that can be accumulated along the way, and what that can mean for folks. But without any further ado, of course, we got Nathan Stout. He and I are, we always show up together. We're like twins. And I'll let our two friends introduce themselves. So, Anne, if you'd like to go first, we'll let you introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Anne Morini. I am the Industrial Systems Technology Instructor here at Craven.
And I'm Jeff Brown. I'm the CAD and Composite Instructor here at Craven as well.
So just, diving into your bios a little bit. So Anne, are you from around here? Or are you a transplant? What's your history with Eastern North Carolina?
Yeah, no, I am not from here. I'm originally from Northern New York. I graduated from Rochester Institute of Technology with a degree in mechanical engineering. And we moved here for work about, 2010 thereabouts. And love it, been here ever since and planted our roots. And my husband actually works at FRC. And here at Craven, loving it. Works out great with our schedules. And I'm finding it very applicable to my background in training, being on campus and helping our students out, finding their niche and getting their career started.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, your accent kind of gave away that northern York dealio right there. And you don't miss all that snow either, do you?
I know they are. Well, it's March here. And right now when this video is being recorded, but we are in spring, blooming, birds are chirping, and up north everybody's still under feet of snow. So no, not missing it.
I understand. Absolutely.
Miss the family, but not
That's
the weather.
True. That's true. Jeff, what about you? What brings you to Eastern North Carolina, or have you been here a while, or what's up?
Yeah, I originally from Colorado. In the mid-90s, I moved out of here where my wife is. And then I was an aircraft mechanic for a while, and I started in 2003 here at Craven in their aviation program. And in 2010, I switched over to composites. Then 2014, I became the CAD instructor, and within that time, I graduated from Liberty University in aviation and bobbled stuff, and now I'm primary teaching CAD, and then both Anne and I we co-teach a lot of the composite classes. So.
Another Liberty grad right here.
Oh, right on. Yep. All right.
And Jeff, now I know why. Yeah, the Orange Crush, the Denver Broncos. If you came from there, I get it now. We see the sticker there in your background, hey, better days ahead maybe for the Broncos, huh?
Oh, I hope so. Yeah.
So yeah, your programs. So jump in there. Tell us about your programs. What kind of students do you see kind of coming? Are they students who've been working in the field and coming back and trying to get some certificates to make themselves more marketable? Or are they shooting for degrees? And you mentioned FRC. Is that one of the primary places that our folks are in these programs so that they can hopefully get on down there? Just kind of give us a run through your program.
Well, I mean, FRC is a major employer for this area. And Jeff and I actually are part of the teaching team with the apprentice group that are past couple of years I've started back up again. The Apprentices at FRC currently are getting their certificate in industrial systems, tradesman certificate. So they'll see both Jeff and I. But FRC isn't our only employer. We have apprenticeships with other area businesses. Typically, I mean, it's been a little bit different now with COVID, but typically those employers will advertise their apprenticeships on their websites and come to us for our program. Students, we have all sorts. We have students right out of high school. I mean, we have students who have went into the military service and are now back, coming as veterans into our programs. We have students all walks of life, all ages. Some of their employers actually send them to us to get more classes and through the apprentice program or program they might have at work. We've had the city of New Bern send over cohorts for our industrial systems program as well. I have a few graduates that are maintenance technicians at local companies here in New Bern. One graduated last year, he's a lineman now. So kind of all aspects of anything that has equipment and needs fixing is basically what industrial systems is. You'll probably report to an engineer of some sort, which I think is where my background comes in handy. And basically, if you like fixing things, or you're interested in how things work, how things are made, how things are, get put together, it's probably where you need to be. And industrial systems folks get their hands in all the trades in many areas here in career programs. Not only will you see me with the maintenance classes, but you'll also be in welding, machining. There's a lot of electronics involved. Of course, safety and print reading, you'll get that pretty much in any of our career program courses. But it's a really good program if you're maybe undecided about what you want to do, because you kind of do dabble in a lot of different areas here in career programs. Get your feet wet in areas you really need to know all kinds of systems, all kinds of blueprints, all kinds of working environments.
Awesome. Jeff, what would you add to that? How your program compares and contrasts the overlaps, say with your students as far as employers and things like that?
Well, we get all sorts of students, just like all the career programs, from right out of high school to right out of the military to folks that have been out of high school for 10, 15 years. We get them all. In the CAD programs, they pretty much focus on multiple CAD software packages. We tend to focus on Inventor, Autodesk Inventor, and also SolidWorks, and we have a number of classes in both those software packages. And hopefully within the next year, and we've had a student or two, or one student, and I'm hoping to implement it more, is that the CAD students will not only get a certificate from us, but also a certificate from the software company as well. And so that will be very valuable for them to go out into the job market and get a job in CAD. Now, I will say that our CAD, we focus more on mechanical. We don't get into drawing a house or plumbing or electrical. We just focus on the mechanical side of CAD. We also get into, just like any CAD, we are heavy in 3D printing. We do get into 3D scanning, reverse engineer, and such as that. And they will also learn how to go from a CAD to a type of machine, whether it's a plasma cutter or water jet and such. So they kind of get a full grasp, and there's plenty of mechanical CAD jobs out there locally and also within the state. We've had people we have a student who just, he's still in the program, but he's also heavy. He got a job and he's moved to Wilson, but he's still finishing up a couple degrees. So before this COVID, we would get a company or two a semester contacting us and needing somebody to do one job or go part-time or go full-time. So we're kind of in a weird time right now, but there's plenty of CAD opportunities out there.
Now, Nathan, don't let me, monopolize this conversation. So whenever, I know you'll jump on in there. So just a couple questions. We've thrown out the word engineering a few times, right? And so we get students coming in to us on the front end saying, I'm kind of interested in the engineering thing. And so they start looking at programs of study, and they start looking at Calc 1 and Calc 2 and Calc 3 and physics, and they're like, hey, I don't know if I want to go that deep into it. But it sounds like with your programs, they would be working with engineers, which would indicate that you are doing some of the work of engineering, right? I mean, it's how does that kind of work together as far as when folks come in with interest in engineering, how your program kind of gets them going, working with their hands real quick, learning the business and the industry real quick versus, if you're going down the engineering path, you're going to be in the classroom and you're going to be hitting all these math classes and physics classes and really not using your hands mechanically and working with, with the tools of the trade, so to say.
Well, I think Jeff and I get that a lot. Not speaking for Jeff, but students come to us all the time, liking engineering, liking the industry, wanting to work with design and how things work, how things are put together, which is basically what engineers do. They figure stuff out. But like you said it there, they're a little bit turned off by all the calculus, or nervous about it, or didn't really have the grades in high school to make it into an engineering program. We see students like that all the time, every day, in both our programs. I mean, I think Jeff would agree. We get students that have the knack and ability to do a lot of things, like you said, working side by side with engineers, and these programs are exactly what they need.
We just happened to have a student who graduated with a CAD degree and a composite degree, and he ended up working with a company, and he was the secondhand man, or worked underneath a couple engineers, and they gave him jobs, and they're like, this is what I need figured out, and they kind of help him out, and they've shown him, even though he went through CAD, they're showing him how to be a machinist now, and how to just kind of work directly with the engineer on their one-off projects, and he's enjoying it. But yeah, all of our students, they just want to get right in and get their hands on something and let somebody else figure out the math. Although a lot of our students, they can figure it out, they're more mechanically with a common sense approach about how things operate, and just get it in my hands, and they do amazing things. And then when they partner with engineers, they're right in there with them. So they're the tech guys, the tech gals, and we show them the skills to do what they need to be successful out there. And it's great seeing them leave here with a successful career already on the way.
Now, there's some transfer opportunities out there as well, correct? And Jeff, for students that they want to, further their degree.
Yeah, we do have a partnership with a couple of colleges, specifically as an example with ECU and their BS IT program. And so basically all career programs they fall in and they receive a AAS degree in an Associate in Applied Science. And what ECU will do, as an example, they will take a chunk of credits and just apply it to their 4-year program. And from there, the students will be able to take 2 years at ECU, and within 4 years of starting, if they stick to it from Craven through ECU, they can get a 4-year degree.
Outstanding.
Yeah, I worked in the health industry at one point, and you had your doctors, and you had your nurses, and you had your therapists, right? And so we quickly learned that the nurses and the therapists, they were the workhorses, and the doctors were the show ponies, right? So you got the people that are the ones that are in there, they're doing it, they're working hard, and the engineers, they get to, do all the supervising stuff, but it's your folks that are actually getting their hands dirty and building and constructing and figuring out and all that kind of stuff. So they're the workhorses of the industry for sure. I'm looking at our website. I'm looking at career technical programs, and just what we've said about yours. So I'm going to throw out some of the other things that we have, if you can speak to those as well, because we talk about computer-aided drafting. There's computer integrated machining. There's electrical engineering, electronics engineering. We've got the manufacturing technology, composites. We've got mechatronics engineering. So do some folks start in your programs and then kind of say, hey, I've done, because you kind of were describing it's kind of a jack of all trades, right? You get to do a lot of different things. Do some of the students take a class or two and say, wow, I really have a passion for this, end up moving into one of the other programs that I mentioned, or how does that kind of work down there in those programs?
That sometimes happens in my program, but all of the programs you just listed, those students will have both Jeff and I. All those programs will take CAD. They will take my print reading class, a safety class. Machinists will also take an intro to CNC machine class, as well as industrial systems students, manufacturing students. So there is some overlap in the programs, and occasionally you will get a student say, wow, I really enjoyed that welding class. I want to focus more, in that direction. And then, they'll go ahead and transfer into welding and get on board with there. Same thing with electronics. There's a lot of electronics in industrial systems, and we do get that. I mean, ideally, the sooner you transfer, the better, because even after one semester, you probably will have to make up some time, in one of the other programs. It's doable, but the longer you wait, it's more difficult to transfer and still graduate on time without adding a semester on. But there is some overlap, and all those programs you just mentioned. Jeff and I teach courses in all of their programs of study.
Another thing that happens quite a bit, I think it's quite a bit, is that a lot of our students, they'll figure out on their own that, hey, if I just come back to school for another year or another semester, they could get 2 degrees.
Yeah.
So I tried to encourage, we both encourage to, here's your options to get 2 degrees, or maybe it's worth your while to skip the 2 degrees here and go on to a 4-year degree. So we make options to all of them, so to all students, so they could map out their college education correctly. So some people like, no, I don't want to go to a 4-year college, but I do want to learn welding now that I've taken one class of welding. I want to go back and get more, or they're like, no, maybe you're right. Maybe I'll just transfer to ECU right now after I get my associate degree. So we see we see both, all kinds.
So while you're talking, it gives us an opportunity to formulate other questions in our minds. As we talk to students, some will say, hey, look, you know, I've already got a job, I'm working, I've got family, got to get kids to school, things like that. And, you know, some programs that we offer, a lot of classes can be taken online. And, you know, obviously people can work their schedules around online classes. However, in your programs, they really need to be able to commit to some day schedules. Is that correct? Because what you're teaching then can't be all done online. Some of the classes maybe, but the bulk of your classes, they need to be in the classroom, in the labs, working with the equipment, working with the machines, really figuring it out. So do you have students that can keep some jobs and flexibility? How do we work with our students who need to be employed while going through the programs that require really being in the classroom a lot?
Well, we have students right now. I'm thinking of our apprentice group from last year who graduated with their certificate. A few of them decided to stay on and get their full associates. Those folks are working full time during the day, 40 hours a week, but then they'll come here at night and take some classes. Their gen ed classes, a lot of them are offered online. But some other tech courses, hands-on lab, heavy lab courses, we do try to offer some at night or even in the summer with some adjuncts or ourselves. We'll be here at night, and it might take a little bit longer to get that degree, but it's doable. And bunch in that same cohort are actually transferring or looking to transfer to the four-year program as well, which once they get over to ECU, all of those classes are online. So they'll still be able to work full-time and get their not only associates, but then their bachelor's, right after they see us.
And I'm sure you see that same thing with a lot of like the Bosch students and stuff as well, and some of those other companies, correct? Where
yes, the companies. That's really, really nice to see when the companies can work with us, work with their student schedules. They want them here during the day. To get their degree. It's they're investing in the student to have that degree while they're here. And when the employers can work with you, work with your schedule, it's always a win-win.
and it really sounds like, a lot of these companies come to you all, looking for students. If you were to tell a student, what can make them kind of stand out, what would you recommend?
Well, because my CAD guys, it's a little bit different, but with them, I kind of emphasize throughout is you need to work on a portfolio. You need to save some of these assignments. You need to turn them into PDF, but you need to be able to show them the work and explain to them the work that they've done. And the best way to do that is with a portfolio, and that's with some of our other classes too, composite classes. We have them document their stuff as they go through, so and take in pictures and images of the actual projects that they've done to create a portfolio. Not only do we emphasize the resume, but also portfolio, so that employers could actually see what they've done, and hopefully they'll stick out more so than other applicants at the same place.
I think too, just having that associate's degree will benefit our students. You can just take a trades class, learn a skill here, here or there. But if you have your full degree and you're up for any sort of promotion in your job, or if it comes between you and another candidate, and if you can show your associates, I think that makes you a little bit more valuable than just maybe somebody who learned a trade or picked up a class here and there.
Yeah, a lot of our students, are looking to stay close by in the community, if not in Craven County, some of the neighboring and bordering counties. But do you have folks that are, if they're going to move across state or across country or whatever, that with these skills, with these credentials, that they're going to be pretty employable no matter where they go?
Most definitely. So we have people, one guy that comes to mind, or one student, is a guy that got a job with Penske Racing. So, and he was willing to move. And a lot of cases, our military guys, they're willing to move. Show me the job and I'm there. And this is what this gentleman was. And I still stay in contact with him every now and then. And he really enjoys working there. But there's, we do get, because of a lot of military who are out of the area, they are willing to move out of this area for a job, and the jobs are wide open out there. So once they get the degree, a couple of certificates, they're employable anywhere.
Well, that's outstanding. Our best sell up here when students come in our door, the quickest we can get them down to Bosch and your work areas and your labs and your equipment down there, man. That's the sell. We can talk to them a little bit, but when they actually get to see it and listen to you guys talk a little bit about it, man, that's when they get really excited. So we definitely appreciate you spending some time with us today to give us a larger picture, of what our students can do once they get into these degrees, whether they want to stay locally or branch out and travel, and just the different job opportunities and employers that we have around the area that could link them up. And it sounds like it's a lot of fun. Like you said, the people that are drawn to that, they love working with their hands, but also working with their minds and seeing things in 3D and really just trying to figure things out. And I can only imagine the excitement they get when they get into the projects, when they get assigned those. And it's like, wow, I get an actual grade for something that I love doing. That doesn't happen in school. It's like, I got to write this paper and get graded on it, but they get to create these fun things, and that's pretty awesome. Is there anything else you want to tell us about the programs? We try to keep it at about 30, and believe it or not, we're creeping up on that 30-minute mark.
I would just encourage anybody who is thinking about these programs to come and see our labs. Jeff and I are in our offices right now, which we rarely are. We almost should take this out to the lab to show you what we do here, because this is not really giving you a clear picture other than just describing it. We've got all the machines and trainers. Jeff's lab with the 3D printers is usually pretty exciting to see as well. So if anybody's interested, just give us a call or stop by. We'd love to show you what we do here.
Yeah, our dean is really big on, he'll pretty much take anybody pretty much any time around the labs, and once you see what we do, I think a lot of people are almost like overwhelmed. Like, I didn't realize that you did all this stuff. So from welding to machining to automotive to air conditioning, we have it all. And so the best thing, if you're interested, you should come see what we do, and it is affordable. We got financial aid. We got, if you want to go to school, here's a place to go, but you got to talk to us first, and we'll work out the details later.
Exactly. Yeah, old Dean Meadows, I heard a story one time. grabbed the young man by the arm and started taking him around, showing him all the programs, gave him the full tour. And he said, well, buddy, you know, what are you interested in? What can we do? And the young man said, sir, I was just here to reload the vending machines. That's how excited Dean Meadows is to grab people and show them around.
That sounds about right. Yep.
Yeah. So we do, we get new machines, new equipment all the time. You know, the college is very supportive of our programs in that aspect. You know, Jeff's always looking for the latest and greatest, you know, whatever's out there, so we can play with it and show our students and they can learn on them.
And the reason why a whole administration is this way is because the employers out there are using the latest and greatest technology, and for our students to be employable, they need to learn on the equipment that they're actually going to be using out in the field.
Yeah.
And we tried to stay up with the technology, and to ensure that the students are equipped with what they need.
You know, that's it too, Jeff, because from here, yes, we're a school. These are our classrooms. I'm using air quotes as classrooms, but really this is what you need to dress. This is what you need to show up, you know, being ready to work. You know, I've had students here in shorts and flip-flops before, and I've said, no, you know, you can't be showing up to class like that. This is from day one. This is on the job training, what you're going to expect. You know, as an employer, I'm going to play the role as the employer, you know, what is needed and expected of you. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're going to be learning a lot, but really this is, you know, this is your place of business while you're here. This is your job.
No.
You know, those soft skills are valuable. You know, that sets you apart as well, is having those type of skills and that mindset.
Well, it's quite evident that, you know, Anne, you and Jeff and the rest of the faculty and staff down at career programs, you know, take what you do very seriously, care deeply about the profession and about our students and preparing them, because, you know, when they go out, they represent us, right? It's like, you know, hey, where'd you get trained, Craven? Wow, they did you right. You're a great employee. You know what you're doing. You contribute, and that's when the employers then start coming around and say, hey, who else you got like that? Make us some more like these. Keep pumping them out. We need them. So yeah, that's great. Anything else, Nathan? You think of anything else?
Once again, it was a great opportunity, you know, just to learn more about both of y'all's programs. Thank you all.
And we'll definitely, you know, you get some more equipment or something after your programs, let us know. We'll get you back on here, and just keep enjoying the spring weather, Ann, while the rest of your family up there in New York are still shoveling snow. And Jeff will root for those Broncos, man. Maybe free agency, you know, the draft coming up. All right. I'm going to go ahead and close this up here.